Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 23 of the Amber Wave Show. This episode, unfortunately, we can't look back at last week's game against London Lions. It was postponed due to high winds, thanks to Storm Dara, but we can look back at this Tuesday's Norfolk Senior Cup match against Dereham Town.
Dereham came into this game with their FA Trophy game also being postponed. They come into this game sitting 8th in the league, while Yarmouth sit 10th, with very few games going ahead across the FA Vase and league. There wasn't much movement in the league.
Yep, so the game started on a bitterly cold night at the Wellesley with the Yarmouth kick-off from right to left. The first opening chance of the game did come to Yarmouth in the opening moments, where the ball was lobbed over the top of the Dereham back line to Barber, who got his head onto the ball but couldn't find the target, and it remained 0-0.
Yeah, moments later, however, Dereham broke quickly with the ball, and one simple ball found the Dereham player one-on-one with defender Connor Deeks. The Dereham player quickly put the ball past Deeks and ran onto it, beating him for pace with only the keeper to beat. Ling did what he could to narrow the angle, but the Dereham forward managed to squeeze it through Ling's legs and into the goal to make it 1-0 to Dereham.
Oh, they're in it! Goal! 1-0 Dereham already!
Fuck off, GameDay!
Yep, Yarmouth did have the lion's share of possession and forward momentum after that goal. Went in, however, disaster struck for the bloaters in the 28th minute with the ball on the near right-hand side. It was a very half-hearted cross from the Dereham player, to which Brandon Ling in goal somehow spills the ball. I don't know if he saw it late or it was just a poor mistake catch. But with no luck at all, he spills the ball straight to the Dereham player, and not even a yard from goal. Dereham, all he had to do was hit it into the goal, which he did, to make it 2-0.
Oh my goodness!
Fuck off, GameDay! Fuck's sake!
Yarmouth did go again, though, with probably the lion's share of possession and the ball in Dereham's final third for a lot of the game. But in the 36th minute, another error at the back for Yarmouth as Dereham broke free after picking up a ball in a dangerous position, ran at the defence and blasted it into the goal to make it 3-0 and pretty much game, set and match before half-time.
Oh, it's another error at the back, and it's free! Last game! Last game!
Fucking Dereham! Fucking
Yeah, the half-time score was Great Yarmouth Town 0, Dereham 3. And in regards to the second half, nothing really happened. There was a lot of football tennis, and I think the ball was probably out of play for throw-ins, corners, goal kicks, than the ball was actually in play, to be honest. So other than it being a very cold and a bit of a windy night, nothing really happened, which means Yarmouth defeated out of the Norfolk Senior Cup with that 3-0 loss. However, on a positive note, that means we do not have to play at the FDC, because that's a terrible pitch. It's a terrible ground. I can't see how that's the home of Norfolk football. But we do really need to pick ourselves up and go again for this weekend.
Now, just the one game to cover this weekend as the bloaters make the trip to London Lions in the postponed fixture that was supposed to take place this last Saturday. With some good news for the bloaters, as two absolutely shocking red cards that were given to Great Yarmouth have been overturned after the appeal from the FA, which says all you need to know about the decision making from the Fakenham game.
So for two red cards in one game, both to be overturned. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So as we said last week, London Lions, also known as Maccabi Lions, were initiated into the football pyramid back in 1995 and already have over 25 league and cup titles to their name.
Yep, and they have had to wait a little longer since the postponement to appear in their FA Trophy match. That is now their best run in the competition.
And hopefully the weather is better for this game to go ahead, and I'm sure that they would like to beat their highest attendance of 197, as we know how fantastically Yarmouth fans support the club both home and away. None of this 58 fans in a league home game like another certain club we know on the East Coast. And to be honest, we brought more fans away to Great Wakering earlier in that competition than that certain club having 58 fans at their home game.
Yeah, and as said last week, the London Lions currently play in the Spartan South Midlands League Premier Division, which is the same division as Great Yarmouth, but in a parallel league, and are doing very well in it.
Yep, and as we said last week, a game between two sides doing well so far this season, excluding last match, which wasn't the best. But London Lions do play on it's a weird pitch. It's AstroTurf, but it's like a 7G woven, sort of like a Premier League standard side of pitch. So it's not AstroTurf and it's not grass. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So a bit different to the normal grass pitch that we used to play on. So it could be a bit of a challenge for us. But I'm not going to that game.
I think I should be going to that one.
Yeah.
I thought I was working, but apparently not. So.
James should be going to that game. Unfortunately, a fair few of the Amber Wave, we all sort of booked time off or planned to go this past Saturday, but because of the wind,
And it got postponed on the day.
We got postponed on the day. Like everyone has sort of like made their plans and everything, so a lot of us can't go. But hopefully we'll get the win and get through to the next round of the competition, which will be away. I can't remember either of the clubs' names because they're a bit of a random names. But what we do know about, if we win, we will be away, and the match will be played. Both teams are located just south of Heathrow.
So it's slightly getting further and further.
So further and further
So eventually,
away.
if we do progress through, we might end up down in in Cornwall.
Yeah, in Cornwall or South Liverpool.
Or up in Newcastle.
That's a long away day. But other than that, that's about it for this week's episode of the Amber Wave Show. Thanks to GameDay for letting us use his goal clips for the highlights of the Dereham game. Be sure to check him out. We'll leave his link to his channel in the description. And other than that, up the bloaters.